Bill O'Reilly here. New Year's Eve, Tuesday, December 31st, 2019. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Here's what's happening across our nation. Dozens of Iraqis break into the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad, Iraq. Former FBI agent Peter Strzok claims the federal government violated his constitutional rights. Mass killings in the USA hit a record high this year. More residents flee Hawaii over high taxes. New poll shows President Trump's approval on the rise. Pope Francis urges people to put down the cell phones. Also ahead, a look at perhaps the most important election of our lifetime. But first, dozens of Iran-backed protesters breaking into the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. A crowd of hundreds storming the compound following American airstrikes in Iraq that killed 25 militants. President Trump vowing to hold leaders in Tehran fully responsible for the attack because they supported it. Former FBI agent Peter Strzok now says the Trump administration violated his constitutional rights to privacy and freedom of speech. Strzok was fired from his position in the FBI for sending private text messages demonstrating his major anti-Trump hatred. You may remember that Agent Strzok was deeply involved in the Russian collusion investigation and is now being investigated himself. Mass killings in the USA set a record 2019. Officials confirmed 210 people died in 41 different events. Experts define a mass killing as a single act that brings about the deaths of at least 4 people. More residents in Hawaii saying aloha to the state, blaming high taxes, increased cost of living, and inflated property values. Other liberal states like New York, California, are seeing similar trends, with thousands relocating to places like North Carolina, Nevada, Texas, and Florida. A new poll from Zogby says the president's approval rating on the rise during the ongoing impeachment exercise. The survey has Donald Trump hitting a 50% job approval rating, with 48% against. Pollsters credit the bump on big gains among independents, African Americans, and Hispanics. Pope Francis urging folks to put away their smart devices in the new year. The leader of the Catholic Church speaking to worshipers in Vatican City, where he told a crowd to disconnect smartphones during meal times, citing Jesus, Mary, and Joseph as good examples of families actually talking to each other. In a moment, the presidential election of 2020. Right back with that.
Deborah's home was stolen. I don't mean thieves stole stuff. I mean scammers literally stole her home. The FBI calls home title theft one of the fastest growing white-collar crimes. This story is why you need Home Title Lock. Deborah says, quote, criminals found the title to our home online and filed fraudulent documents claiming they owned it. And it gets worse. Deborah, quote, I was evicted from my own home and $85,000 in equity gone. Nobody believes you can get your home stolen this easy, unquote. This is why you need Home Title Lock, because no insurance or bank protects your home from title theft. First things first, please go to HomeTitleLock.com and register your address to see if you're already a victim and don't know it. Then sign up to protect the legal title to your home so you don't end up like Deborah. And to get you started, I got you 60 risk-free days of protection. Please go to HomeTitleLock.com, HomeTitleLock.com.
Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day, a presidential race preview. As many of us believe, the election of 2020 will test America because the two sides, the Democrats and the Republicans, are so different. In about a month, on February 3rd, the Democratic caucus will be held in Iowa. It's the day after the Super Bowl on February 2nd. Now, this is a very small vote dominated by far-left people. Right now, Mayor Pete is in the lead in the polls. Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren following it up. Joe Biden has very little support in the state of Iowa. Does it mean anything? Not really for the vote. It does mean increased fundraising for the winner, which will most likely be Mayor Pete. Then the primaries move on to New Hampshire on February 11th. That's a toss-up right now, according to polling. Buttigieg, Warren, Sanders, and Biden all could win it. Again, New Hampshire, very liberal in the precincts that vote in the primary. Not a liberal state. New Hampshire could go to Trump. He just lost it last time around. But in the Democratic primary there, liberal voters dominate, not moderate Democrats. So I can't make the call right now. It's a little too far out. But the New Hampshire primary is more important than the Iowa caucus. Then on February 22nd, Nevada votes. This is the Biden stand right here. So Joe Biden has organized labor behind him largely, and Nevada is a big union state. So let's assume that Joe Biden wins the state of Nevada. You're going to have Buttigieg winning Iowa. Nobody knows New Hampshire, but Warren and Sanders could win that state, and then Biden winning Nevada. Then you go to the big one in South Carolina on February 29th. This is all coming up very, very fast. All right? Now, Joe Biden's lead in South Carolina right now in the polling is huge. And that's because South Carolina has many African-American voters who at this point are supporting Biden far and away more than the other Democratic candidates. South Carolina is a place where people start to drop out of the race because if you don't do well there, Nevada, New Hampshire, and Iowa, you can't raise any money. You can't pay your staff. You can't charter the airplanes. You can't do any of that. So South Carolina, most people hang on unless they get whacked. All right, and there's really four in contention. Buttigieg, Warren, Sanders, and Biden. That's all. All right, the others, and I'm going to get to Michael Bloomberg in a moment, the others right now are not a factor. March 3rd is the big Super Tuesday vote. Alabama, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Maine, Massachusetts, Minnesota, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, Virginia. And you need a lot of money to compete. Now, here's where Bloomberg makes his stand. He's got millions, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of TV ads, and here's where he's going to try to do well. And after Super Tuesday, we'll know who the nominee is pretty much going to be, or if it's going to be a brokered convention. And the Democratic convention is July 13th to 16th in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So, presidential election moving fast. I'm Bill O'Reilly, and I approve that message by actually writing it. For more commentary, please go to BillO'Reilly.com. In a moment, something you might not know.
Millions of Americans have been diagnosed with cancer or a serious illness. If you are one of them and money is a problem, you're not alone. It's simple. If you own a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more, then Life Guide Partners can evaluate your coverage for free to see if you qualify for cash now when you need it the most. Be ready to take down this number. If you own a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more and you are living with a serious illness, then Life Guide Partners can evaluate your coverage free to see if you qualify for cash now. So write this number down, 1-888-GUIDE-50. Totally free to call. Get rid of those insurance premiums. Stop paying them. Consider turning that life policy into cash. The number again, 1-888-GUIDE-50. 1-888-484-3350. 1-888-GUIDE-50. Call now.
Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. It is New Year's Eve, a night millions across the planet prepare to ring in a new decade. The last 10 years has seen some pretty dramatic changes. The rise of the smartphone, self-driving cars, artificial intelligence. But even more has changed in the past century. Here are some major headlines from 1919, 100 years ago. Americans had a hard time ringing in the new year with a glass of champagne in 1919 because of the passage of the 18th Amendment, the prohibition of alcohol in the USA. No booze. Women across the country cast their votes for the first time that year after Congress approved the 19th Amendment, guaranteeing suffrage to all females in America. Europe was preparing to enjoy a period of prosperity after signing the Treaty of Versailles, officially ending World War I. Unfortunately, that peace did not last very long. The same year, 1919, saw the formation of the German Workers' Party, which would morph into the Nazi Party. At the same time, Benito Mussolini formed the Fascist Party in Italy. In Ireland, militant national organization Sinn Féin created its own parliament in Dublin and declared Ireland independent of Great Britain, sparking the Irish War of Independence. In October 1919, President Woodrow Wilson suffered a series of strokes that rendered him blind in one eye and unable to use his left hand. Wilson, his wife, and the White House doctor successfully hid the condition from the press and the public until he left office months later. On December 26, 1919, Babe Ruth sold by the Boston Red Sox to the New York Yankees for $125,000, an enormous sum at the time. A deal many believe cursed the Red Sox for decades and led to the rise of the most successful sports franchise in history, the Yankees. So, the world has changed a lot in 100 years. And it's incredible to think what the next 100 years will hold for ourselves. Have a very happy and safe new year from the O'Reilly Update crew. We'll be back after this.
In business, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. Companies that don't have a clear picture of their finances often fail. This is what NetSuite by Oracle has set out to solve. Serious entrepreneurs and finance teams run on NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite offers a full real-time picture of all your finances from one place on your phone or desktop. No more worry that what you don't know could kill your company. NetSuite customers grow 3 times faster than the S&P 500, and you will too. So schedule your free demo right now and receive their free guide, 7 Key Strategies to Grow Your Profits at netsuite.com/bill. Set up your free demo. Get your free guide today at netsuite.com/bill. That's netsuite.com/bill. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.